Well, well, well. Hold on, guys. It looked like I got booted. I got the boot. It's giving me the boot. Divinity things I want. Okay. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm trying to get YouTube. My YouTube back up. Well, that's kind of booty. Speaking of getting dropped, I bet it has something to do with the Restream and my computer being older. So this computer was from 2017. It's an iMac. It's one of the last of the models that utilized the Intel chips before they went to the Apple Silicon or whatever they call them, which was like the next year. I was like, oh man, if I only waited one more year, but then it would have just been the M1 chip, I think. Okay, let me get this stream screen back up. Well, that was kind of booty. I was wondering, like, was that why nobody was active in the chat for a second? Let's just put our greeting out there. Hello, everyone. Hello. We'll do a wave here. Just pointing. Yeah, I don't have this problem if I'm just using OBS straight to YouTube. It seems to be okay because I've streamed for like hours and hours, unless I have something else on running on my computer besides the OBS, then it might cut the stream. Well, I guess this is part 2, guys. Part 2 of the stream I started earlier where I'm working on the illustrations here for Rocky and Bo Become Friends. I'm on the 11th spread, which, if you didn't know, a spread is 2 pages of the book. So it's one big sheet. One big sheet. Yeah, it kind of bummed me out, losing my stream there. That's another thing, is like when stuff like that happens, it's like, yeah, you might get some of your followers coming back, but if it's just like new people, they might just move on to something else. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the contours while I do this too. The contour of Mr. Rocky's head, the shape of his head. Well, yeah. Thanks, guys, for the likes. I appreciate it. If you're coming back from the last live stream that got dumped, for some reason I got booted. Probably my computer is not the fastest processor to handle all the information that's running through it. Okay, let's see. You know what? I think I'm okay with, let me see here. I think I'm okay. Okay. With what lines we have so far. So, actually, I think this needs to come over a little bit more. Plus, also, I'm not sure how much longer I'll be streaming at this time, because probably end up going to make a late lunch. We got some chili that I made the other day, so I will probably be calling it maybe like in a half an hour. So I'm hoping to get as much as I can done in that time, and then be back after lunch. Okay, hold on, guys, because I feel like this would be a little chunkier. Yeah, I've been watching some of these people do plein air painting. It's really making me want to do something like that. Plein air means you're going out into the field, aka the world, and you're trying to paint from life. Usually like a scene out there. People do like all sorts of whatever subject matter out in the real world. Usually like landscapes or something like that. But I've been seeing stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. It is today was warm, but we're kind of in the cold part of our season here in the Midwest. So to be doing plein air in the winter, that is a big challenge, knowing what you can and can't use at certain temperatures. No, I think oil paints should be okay, but yeah, once you start using acrylic paints, I think once it starts getting below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, the paint doesn't dry very well, or doesn't polymerize very well. But thanks again, guys. 2 likes. I don't know where I was at when I got bumped off, but I appreciate it. YouTube's like, man, you're talking too much. We need you to be quiet and do more arting. We need you to do more arting. Stop talking. Oops. It'd be fun to do like a recording of like a plein air painting or live streaming out there doing plein air. I haven't done a plein air painting probably since my, let me see, would it be the early 2000s or the late 90s? I'm trying to think. It could have been the late 90s. Which I could see probably around age 27. So yeah, that would have been like 90, 99 or 2000. 2000. So that's quite, if it was 2000, that's almost over 25 or about 25 years since I last tried plein air. I did enjoy it. I did have people come up to me. I think it's hard for people, they see somebody doing that outdoors, and some people are just very interested in that that process, for lack of a better word. And so they want to, just like people on, you know, when you live stream on YouTube, you know, you got people coming through, and they want to engage, they want to find out, they're curious. It's not every day you see somebody out there plein air painting. Maybe even less so now. It's hard to say. I'm not usually outside much, which would be another reason to do plein air, is to get outside. But I might start, I'd wait till it warms up some, not try to do it in the winter. I'd have to work up to something like that. But I would like to paint a little bit more quickly, and I think plein air painting, you can do really quick sketches or paintings. Or you can spend as much time as you want out there, which I did. I think I spent probably a good chunk of time, 4 to 6 hours maybe. It was a scene in the small park in downtown Minneapolis. If anybody's familiar with it, it's called Loring Park. And back in the distance is the Basilica of St. Mary. And then there was the community college that I took some classes from, is also kind of back there. But yeah, Loring Park has a small kind of pond, lots of trees, paths. There's a bridge. There's like a bridge over that splits the pond. So it had some interesting stuff to it. Some interesting features. It'd almost be fun to go back there and try to do another version of the scene that I painted, geez, over 20 years ago. Is my, oh, okay, I was going to say, is my audio coming through? Okay, yep, my audio's coming through. Just checking. Sometimes I start streaming and my audio's not going. And it takes somebody in chat to let me know that they can't hear nothing. And then I'm like, oh my. Oh my. Okay, that foot's good, that foot's good. I really want to move on to doing bow. But I want to make sure these lines are pretty much consistent. So usually my drawing or painting, I use a lot of thin and thick line work. But in these digital drawings, I just kind of want it to be consistently the same thickness, if I can. With a little taper, usually tapers on the end. This part's a little not thick. So I really got into line weights through working with my dad, helping him draft, and line weights in drafting convey certain things. So it's kind of stuck with me through my own art. Oops. Especially illustration stuff. So the thinner the line, the farther away something is being portrayed. The thicker the line, the closer that thing is supposed to be. So I kind of maintain that with my drawing. Usually my illustrative work. Painting, you know, the painting is something different. Painting is not always concerned with line width. So today I'm not using my earbud for the microphone. I'm using my phone, so I'm not sure how better the phone is capturing the audio over my earbud. But I was having some issues last time with streaming through OBS, using my earbud as the mic through OBS versus the phone mic. Definitely don't want to use my desktop mic. Some of my earlier streams through OBS, I used the desktop mic, and I just sound like I'm muffled. So also, I don't have a proper microphone. I use whatever I have access to, which is either my phone, my phone's microphone, or the earbuds. Okay, hold on a sec. I got my orange cat is moving behind me. At least she's chill, that's all I gotta say. Okay, next up, I think we're good. Our next step is let's turn the opacity down on this side, which is our friend Bo. Let me go back and save. Let me find something that is close to what I need to use for Bo. I don't have to do too much redrawing certain viewpoints when I can just copy and paste it and then copy, go back and dump. Hey Pre, you don't even need lines when painting. It's a little lower today. It's fine, it's a little lower. I think I might have it turned down. So it's all the way up now. It's, plus I'm not sure if my phone is, where is it picking up from? It's not so close to me. But yeah, thanks for the, it's fine, just a little, okay, yeah, I just read that. I just read that. Alright, so you want the black for this. And did I paste it in here already? Paste layer, okay. So we got our guy. Yeah, it's not a perfect. Okay, hold on a second. Undo. It's not quite 3/4 and it's not quite profile. So let me see. Let me see if there's something else that's slightly this. Let's copy. Open. Copy. And then I still think the head is only slightly turned towards us. So it's not a true profile, but oops. Paste. Let's flip. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Let me crop. We're gonna dissect. Do a little dissection here. Take his head. Yeah, it's still not even the right angle. Ah, okay. What we'll do though, undo that. Put the head back on. Come on, there we go. Put the head back on. So we're gonna steal, oops, we're gonna definitely steal the nose. Steal the nose. We'll steal that nose. Copy, paste. Oops. Distort it. Might be a little too distorted. So it looks flat still. Something like that. Definitely needs to look a little more rounded. Hold on. Oops. Alright, looks a little more dimensional. Maybe you gotta push this. Pushing this, distort. Okay. Oh. No quick key access. Well, okay, something like that. That looks a little bit more dimensional. Yeah, there was, for some reason, OBS kicked me out. Well, it wasn't actually not OBS. I don't know. YouTube just disconnected from, because OBS was still streaming or still pushing the video. It was still saying it was live streaming, but there was a disconnection between the OBS and YouTube, or Restream connected to YouTube. I don't know. There's probably too many pipes in the line. Too many hands in the cookie pot, or cooks in the kitchen. But yeah, like I'm watching OBS and it's still, the timer is still counting up, and I'm like, well, I don't know how to reconnect it, because on my iPad that I use for, yeah, good old tech, on my iPad that I use as a monitor instead of playing it on my desktop, which bogs down the processor if I have more than just the OBS going. It said stream ended. I was like, no, really? But then OBS is still counting down, or counting up, like, oh, you're still streaming. It's just not connected, so I had to turn it off and restart anew. No, it wasn't on your end for sure, Random. It was mine. I have to go and do some Googling research to see what kind of issues people have using Restream and YouTube and OBS together. That way I kind of know what to expect, I guess. So he's got this leash in his mouth. Eyes definitely getting, oops. got that crazed eye look. Oh. You'd think I would know how to use this already. And I might need to be a little bigger, slightly. And we'll duplicate it, copy, paste, and flip it. No, now he looks like a chameleon. No, I wanted that to be a little bit more. And then we need merge. I might just have to redraw this. Oh, always on the wrong thing. Always on the wrong thing. Alright. I feel like this should like this, something like that. Somebody's doing what? Okay, I thought that was on Twitch. Only 2 people on Twitch that have followed me. Be right back, going outside for a few. We'll let the stream. Cool. Thank you, Random. Let me catch myself up to my live. Come on. Did we skip it? Yes. Okay. He's got this in his mouth. Going outside. Oh man, I should do that. Only time I go outside is when I let the dog in, back, or go out to take the dog out. I want this like this. Angled some. Whoops. Alright, wait a second. Hey Melody, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice out today. Yeah, we're experiencing about 50-degree Fahrenheit here in Iowa. So that's not too bad for where we're at. I'm not gonna complain. Oh boy, I think I made his ear a little long. Let's shorten that. There we go. Something like that. Deselect. So how are you doing today, Melody? Going on soon? It's day 2 of the 52. Oh no, it's once a week. I forgot. I was gonna say, man, a portrait every day, that's a lot. Once a week. Do you have a day chosen for when you do the portraits? Or is it just going to be like roughly a week in between portraits? And are you going to use different materials? You use the same materials? Different materials I could see keeping it fun and fresh. Zoom out. The full zoom. Let me turn this. That's not too bad. The head is slightly turned towards us, just slightly. I didn't want them to be full 3/4. But the body's gonna have to be a little bit less flat. Not digging this part though. Where do we go? There we go. Nope, don't want to select more than one. Here we go. Different but same size. Yeah, to make it easier. You do like a collage one. I guess that might take a little bit longer. Nope. Nope, I don't like that. Excuse, I'm bumping the, I guess I'm not bumping my camera, I'm bumping the microphone. There we go, give him a little bit more cheeks. Oops, it was delayed there. Something like that, and then, hold on a second. Do you ever just use the lasso tool to change perspective? Yeah, but I'm kind of old school and so used to painting and just drawing that I have a tendency to forget about these other tools, and I just want to, whoops, I just want to do it, whoops, quit erasing. I want to do it just through just drawing. I like the repetition of drawing. Trying to figure something out through just drawing it versus like constructing it, if that makes any sense. Like I look at using shapes and stuff as a way to construct something versus just drawing it. I mean, there's any number of ways to approach something as far as like making something, building something, because that's how I look at digital art, is like construction versus traditional like drawing and painting, even though you're using similar techniques. But digital to me is like playing with Legos versus like hammer and chisel chopping something. I guess more additive versus subtractive, which is, that's what that is. Hammer and chisel is like you take a chunk of something and you're subtracting the things you don't want, whereas you can build something up where you're adding to it to create whatever it is. So kind of like welding and welding things together to make something. Yeah, for sure. I have a graphic designer and sketch mix. Yeah, I always just want to, like, since always looking at something as like painting, even if it is just an illustration. That's how I look at it. It's like I'm always painting it. Sometimes I'm constructing it from lines. Then I'm, whoops. The perspective on that is screwed up. It should be like this. Just like this. Oops. But when I was a kid, I always played with Legos. So I always look at it as like I'm constructing it. Except for a painting is different than drawing. But digital was different. Yeah, sometimes you can't get the right perspective. I wasn't thinking about your question enough. Sometimes you can't always get the right perspective, even with the lasso tool, so you have to draw something out to figure it out, or at least for myself. Because I know there is a perspective tool within this. Or no, if I'm shaping something, I can do perspective. Sometimes that helps, but sometimes it distorts it even more. But I guess it depends on if you drew the thing in a particular perspective, then you can kind of make it work through using that tool. But sometimes you just have to redraw some things. Sometimes you just have to redraw it. Whoops. Make sure you grab the right tool again, buddy. Say like this, for example. So the harness in the old image is, it just looks straight flat, like you're looking at it profile like. But he's actually slightly turned towards the camera, so his butt will be going away from the camera while his head turns towards the camera, like the. So where's my camera? So gosh dang it. So it's kind of like this angle. So this is flat and slightly turned. So the back end of my pencil is going away from you and the front's going towards you. It's kind of that angle. Yeah, with digital, that's the cool thing about digital is you can redraw so much faster, I feel, than if you're using traditional like paper and pencil, because you don't have to worry about overlays. You have overlays right here at your disposal, so I can create a new layer and overlay that over the old one, and if I need to adjust the perspective, then it's so much easier to see that in real time versus like, okay, how would I do that with paper and pencil? I'd have to get some tracing paper so I could see, almost like animating, so I could see the old layer underneath. But then if you're erasing a lot, you're gonna have a lot of ghost marks, and it's hard to see sometimes through the ghost marks. So digital in some ways makes things much easier and tolerable. Well, guys, I might have to wrap up here soon to start lunch, because I'm sure my wife is very hungry since I didn't eat my full breakfast this morning at work and I saved it. Stuff like this, like, okay, I need to make this a little bigger or smaller. I can cut it out, adjust it, add on or whatever. This should actually be smaller. That should be on the inner side of his foot. You like traditional for the feel, but digital for the convenience? Yeah. Still something about traditional that the digital just can't replicate. So digital is excellent for illustration, but not always for the emotional. Not to say that one or the other can't be like the other. guess it depends on the artist. But just knowing that something is not a physical thing, I don't know if I put it lower on the totem pole or the scale of importance to me, because I've done a lot of digital paintings that I really like, but if I took those same digital images and created that using traditional materials, I'm gonna definitely choose the traditional version over the digital version. Jeez, I think this might have come back too far. Yep. Okay. I just kind of want to get a sense of this here. Plus digital, like, unless you're painting with big fat brushes, digital, you're always drawing something out and then filling it in. Whereas a painting, you're not gonna do that, or you're not necessarily gonna do that. So our other foot, something like that. And then, okay, just be making these crazy lines sometimes. Oops. I forgot this is, oh no, that's the harness. So the harness comes with that. It would be curly here, overlapping that bit of the harness, and the tail is definitely hold on. Okay, I don't want the shape. I rarely, geez, once in a very blue moon do I ever use the shapes. Oops. Not that. Why am I drawing? Okay, at first I was like, why am I drawing on the yellow? Something like that. Okay, whoops. Sometimes I accidentally double tap or tap the screen. With 2 fingers versus 1 finger. Hold on. Where are we at? 2:54. I'm going to call it in 6 minutes. And then maybe I'll be back on after lunch, because I do need to like keep plugging away on this. It'd be nice to get onto page or spread 12. let's see. I can sketch traditionally, but I like to construct the finished product. That's why I do vector. Yeah, you kind of gotta use more than one tool, but yeah, I get redrawing some stuff. I'm real basic, and same with even painting. I stick with one brush. I don't want to change brushes because I'm already using this one. Why should I switch brushes? But sometimes you have to do that. But I get stuck in just using one tool mostly because I feel like I can draw stuff out quicker than I'm going to use other tools to construct it or reconstruct it with. But trying to get into using various tools, because you never know what something might create for you through just using it versus like always going back to, say, just my brush tool. Okay, let's see. Where is... There it is. Okay, turn that off. I think we got everything. We're not showing the front paw on the far side. So, let's see. Something like that. Because this, you would think, is the paw, but that's his ear. Actually, the ear might even come out this far. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit bigger than that. Or it might even be... Oh boy. Yeah, it might not even be that low. It might not even register. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, I would use this to erase, but that's if I weren't focused on line thickness, so that's why I just use the erase. Alright, we got a couple minutes. You know what? I think this is exaggerated a little bit too much. So I'm getting the sense that I'm going to have to redraw a lot of this. So, hold on. Yep, if I don't want to redraw a whole line, I like that line. I'll use the lasso to move it. Hey, Sabrina Suburban Garden, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here, saying good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well, Sabrina. Having a lovely day. Random says, is Bo a purse snatcher? He could be. We don't know a whole lot about Bo at this time. Right now he's untangling. Or is that Rocky? No, it's Bo. It is our friendly neighborhood Bo. Whoops. This brush, I'm still trying to get used to it because it starts off thin and then gets fat depending on the pressure I put on it. Whoops. There we go. Okay, and this actually should, go across the whole thing. And this goes that. Whoops. Come on. Come on. A lot of this definitely needs to get redrawn. Look at all these random bits just hanging out there. Well, something like that. I think, yeah, you can always do one more layer and redraw everything. Kind of make it a little bit cleaner, but I think that's probably good for now. Sometimes I don't want to stop. Okay. I wonder if I should straighten that front leg out a little bit more. Like this. Done. And then deselect. Always gotta be thinking about the physics of something. Oops. What's going on here? Not white. What? Oh yeah, deselect. That's right, you gotta deselect sometimes. Yep, okay, we'll fix it up later. Right now, we gotta call it and get to work on late lunch. Let's see, my line work takes the longest because of my straight edges and sharp points. Everything else is fast. Good afternoon. Oh, Random is saying good afternoon to Sabrina. I am, thanks. Hope you're having a great day too. Yeah, thank you, Sabrina. I am. It is nice out today, even though I'm inside. I customize the brushes. Sometimes I do that but usually I don't mess with them enough to understand what I'm doing, so I would have to spend some time figuring that out. But as far as fresco is concerned, I'm not sure how much I can adjust brushes like you can in Procreate, where I feel like in Procreate you have a little bit more control over customizing brushes. Well, guys, my wife is texting me, wondering when I'm going to stop. So since I said I would stop at 3 and it's already 7 after, let's say goodbye. All right. Thanks, guys, for coming back. And Random coming back to hang out for this second part of the first session. And thanks, Sabrina, for dropping by and saying hello and hanging for a bit. Melody Provenzano, thank you for dropping by and saying hello. Hope you're doing well. And I'm assuming you're probably live streaming right now. But yeah, thanks, guys, for the likes. We got 5 of them, I think. It's not too bad. But I'll probably be back later after lunch to get things continuing. Continue on this. I don't know what I'm saying now. But yeah, all right, guys. Thank you for joining, and I hope you have a great day or evening wherever you're at in the world. And until next time, peace. Bye-bye. How do I switch over here again? My start screen. Bye, guys. Peace, 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 peace. I need an end stream and a outro, intro, and an outro, and all of that.